Have you ever found yourself just staring into space, feeling like the get up and go you once had has simply gotten up and gone? Or maybe you've noticed your circulation isn't what it used to be, leaving your hands and feet feeling cold, or a persistent brain fog that makes simple tasks feel draining. It's a quiet struggle that so many of us face as we get older, a slow dimming of our inner light. What if I told you this feeling could be linked to something you do every single day? Something you might even consider healthy? It's all about what's on your plate. So if you've been feeling that vital spark begin to fade, stick with me. This might change everything. Let's talk about something men rarely discuss until there's a problem: the prostate. Think of it as a small but mighty walnut-sized gland that works silently in the background your whole life. It's a key player in men's health, yet we often ignore it, assuming it'll just take care of itself. But here's the thing about our bodies. They keep score. Every meal, every choice, is a message we send. The little aches, the frequent trips to the bathroom at night, that feeling of pressure. These aren't just random signs of aging. They are often whispers from your body, and specifically from your prostate, asking for a little help. I remember a patient of mine, a wonderful man named Arthur, in his late 60s. He came to me convinced that waking up 3 or 4 times a night was just his new normal. He'd accepted it as a part of getting older. "That's just how it is, doc," he'd say with a shrug. But the truth is, while aging is inevitable, suffering is not. Many of these issues are not mandatory rites of passage. They are often the result of long-term, low-grade inflammation, a silent fire stoked by our daily habits. It's a slow burn that impacts our quality of life, chipping away at our independence without us even realizing it. The journey to better health, especially for seniors, isn't about radical diets or punishing exercise routines. It's about understanding the why behind our choices. It's about building healthy habits that support our longevity and well-being. So, let's start with the kitchen. What if your breakfast, the meal you believe is starting your day right, is actually setting you up for trouble? I'm talking about processed meats. That quick, convenient sausage or slice of ham seems harmless, but it's a choice that can have long-term consequences for your health, particularly for that small, important gland we've been talking about. Think about it. In many of our cultures, a hearty breakfast often includes these processed items. They're tasty, easy, and have been part of our diet for generations. But what's really in them? They are often loaded with nitrates, preservatives, and high levels of saturated fats. When consumed day after day, these substances can act like kindling for inflammation throughout your body. And the prostate, being a sensitive organ, is particularly vulnerable. It's not about the one-off hot dog at a family barbecue. It's about the cumulative effect of daily exposure, a steady drip that slowly erodes your well-being. This inflammation is a sneaky thief. It doesn't cause loud, screaming pain at first. Instead, it works in the shadows, gradually damaging tissues and disrupting the delicate hormonal balance that is crucial for a man's health. This hormonal disruption can directly affect the size and function of your prostate. I've seen countless studies showing a clear link between diets high in processed meats and a greater incidence of urinary symptoms and prostate enlargement over the years. It's a silent risk that builds over time, impacting your happiness and freedom to live fully. And it's not just what you eat, but how you cook it. Frying these meats or cooking them at very high temperatures can create another layer of trouble. This process can form toxic compounds that amplify their harmful effects. This is where the power of knowledge comes in. Understanding this connection is the first step toward reclaiming your health. It's not about fear, it's about empowerment. Knowing this allows you to make a simple switch that can have a profound impact on your longevity and quality of life. Imagine the difference it could make. What if, instead of that processed sausage, you started your day with a cleaner source of protein? Think about a couple of organic eggs, or some creamy avocado with a sprinkle of sea salt, or perhaps a slice of whole grain toast drizzled with a little olive oil. These aren't just health foods. They are powerful tools for building a foundation of healthy aging. You're not only protecting your prostate, but also strengthening your entire digestive and cardiovascular system. This is what true nutrition is all about, nourishing your body from the inside out for a more active mind and body. The key isn't about total elimination. I'm not here to tell you to never enjoy your favorite foods again. Life is meant to be enjoyed. The secret lies in moderation and awareness. Think of processed meats as an occasional treat, rather than a daily staple. When you do have them, look for versions without added nitrates or preservatives, and try gentler cooking methods. These small adjustments are huge victories for your long-term health. They are the healthy habits that pave the way for a vibrant, independent future. Many men simply normalize urinary symptoms, brushing them off as an unavoidable part of getting older. But the truth is, most of these changes can be prevented, or even reversed, if we take action in time. The prostate doesn't just fail overnight. Its health is the sum of thousands of decisions made over many years. Every single meal counts. The first step is awareness. The second is action. Take a look at your breakfast tomorrow. Is there a simple change you can make? One small step to improve your health without sacrificing flavor? Now, let's talk about another culprit that is so common, so deeply woven into our daily lives, that most of us consider it completely harmless. It's sweet, it's comforting, and it's everywhere. From our morning coffee and cereal, to desserts, sauces, and even foods we don't think of as sweet. I'm talking about refined sugar. Yes, that innocent-looking white powder. Its impact on your prostate health can be even more profound and damaging than that of processed meats. Ignoring this could seriously limit the benefits you're trying to achieve for your well-being. Refined sugar is like fuel for the fire of inflammation. When you consume it in excess, your body goes on a roller coaster. It messes with your insulin production, leading to insulin resistance, and creates an internal environment ripe for hormonal chaos. This isn't just about your energy levels or your waistline. It directly impacts your prostate function. Why? Because the prostate is incredibly sensitive to hormonal shifts, especially the balance between testosterone and estrogen. A healthy balance is key to healthy aging. Here's something that might surprise you. When your sugar intake leads to the accumulation of visceral fat, that deep internal fat that wraps around your organs, it triggers a process in your body. This fat acts like a little factory that starts converting your testosterone into estrogen. An excess of estrogen in the male body has been strongly linked to benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, which is the clinical term for an enlarged prostate. It's a chain reaction that starts with a simple spoonful of sugar, affecting your quality of life down the line. Furthermore, sugar wreaks havoc on your gut. It feeds the harmful bacteria, disrupting the delicate ecosystem of your microbiome and weakening your immune system's front line of defense. A compromised immune system is less effective at identifying and fighting off abnormal cells. While we can't say sugar directly causes cancer, a high-sugar diet is consistently associated with a higher risk of various tumor processes. It's a serious consideration for anyone focused on longevity and preventive health. What's truly tricky is that many people try to cut back on sugar, but fall into clever traps. They swap white sugar for industrial honey, corn syrup, or artificial sweeteners like aspartame, thinking they're making a healthier choice. The reality is, some of these substitutes can be just as, or even more, disruptive to your hormonal balance and overall health. It's a minefield out there, but you can navigate it with a little knowledge. True wellness comes from making informed, not just convenient choices. By the way, if any of this is making sense so far, give this video a quick like. It really helps me keep these coming. The first step is to become a sugar detective. Start reading labels. If you see ingredients like high fructose corn syrup, maltodextrin, dextrose, or anything ending in -ose, you're likely looking at a product high in hidden sugars. The second step is to make smart swaps. Whole fruits like berries, apples, and cherries provide natural sweetness along with fiber, antioxidants, and protective phytonutrients. If you need to sweeten something, a small amount of pure stevia or erythritol can be a better choice as they don't spike your insulin. Here's a practical tip I share with my patients. If you do eat something sweet, pair it with a source of healthy fat or protein. For instance, have an apple with a handful of walnuts or a small bowl of full-fat, plain yogurt. This simple trick helps to lower the glycemic index of the meal, which means it blunts the sugar spike in your bloodstream and reduces its inflammatory impact. It's a small, healthy habit that contributes significantly to your overall well-being and helps maintain that precious independence. I've had so many people tell me that when they significantly reduced their sugar intake, the changes were remarkable. They reported having more energy, sleeping better, feeling happier, and yes, noticing a real improvement in urinary symptoms related to their prostate. It's not about living a life devoid of sweetness. It's about rediscovering the delicious, natural flavors that nature provides, and treating your body with the intelligence and respect it deserves. This is a cornerstone of healthy aging. Eating with awareness doesn't mean deprivation. It means choosing with intention. Every time you say no to an ultra-processed, sugary snack and yes to something whole and natural, you're sending a powerful message to your body. You're saying, I respect you. I am taking care of you. Lasting health isn't built on grand, punishing sacrifices. It's forged in the crucible of small, consistent daily decisions. Cutting back on sugar might feel like a challenge today, but it will be one of the best gifts you ever give your future self. Now, after understanding how sugar can silently disrupt your hormonal balance, let's turn our attention to another food that is often seen as a symbol of strength and vitality, especially in our culture. It's a centerpiece at family gatherings and celebrations. I'm talking about red meat. In the right amount and quality, it can be part of a healthy diet. But the problem isn't the meat itself. It's the excess, the frequency, and most importantly, the way we prepare it. When red meat becomes the star of your plate every day, it can have surprising effects. Scientific studies have consistently pointed out that a high consumption of red meat, especially when it's fried, grilled, or smoked, can increase the risk of BPH and other inflammatory disorders. The reason lies in the creation of compounds called heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, during high-temperature cooking. When you ingest these compounds regularly, they trigger inflammatory pathways that directly affect the delicate tissue of the prostate. It's not the occasional steak that's the issue. It's the habit. Beyond the cooking method, red meat is also a source of saturated fat. When consumed in excess, this type of fat fuels systemic inflammation. A diet rich in saturated fat can interfere with hormone production, contribute to insulin resistance, and create an internal environment that is less than ideal for prostate function. This is a critical piece of the puzzle for maintaining your long-term health and ensuring a high quality of life as you age. It's about creating an internal ecosystem that promotes wellness, not disease. There's another layer to this that many people don't consider: the quality of the meat. There is a world of difference between grass-fed beef, raised without hormones or antibiotics, and conventionally raised industrial meat. The latter can contain residues of synthetic hormones and other substances that, when they accumulate in your body, can act as endocrine disruptors. This means they can interfere with your body's natural hormone system, creating imbalances that have a direct line to your prostate health and overall vitality. So, what's the solution? It's all about balance and quality. If you enjoy red meat, think of it as a supporting actor, not the main star. Enjoy it in moderation. Choose leaner cuts whenever possible, and prepare them with gentler methods like stewing, steaming, or braising. And here's a crucial tip: always pair your meat with a generous portion of fiber-rich vegetables. The fiber helps your body metabolize the fats more effectively and reduces the overall inflammatory load of the meal. This simple habit supports your nutrition goals and fosters independence. Another powerful strategy is to incorporate meat-free days into your week. This isn't about becoming a vegetarian overnight. It's about opening the door to other wonderful sources of protein like lentils, beans, wild-caught fish, organic eggs, and seeds. Your body will thank you for the variety, and so will your prostate. It's interesting to look at some of the world's longest-lived cultures, like those in the Mediterranean or Japan. They typically consume red meat only on special occasions, and they have significantly lower rates of prostate disease. This is no coincidence. Remember, this knowledge is meant to empower you, not to fill you with fear. Every bite you take is an opportunity to either nourish your body or potentially harm it. When it comes to an organ as sensitive as the prostate, prevention is always the best medicine. I invite you to try an experiment. For the next few weeks, consciously reduce your red meat intake. Explore new recipes. Try ingredients you don't normally use. Pay close attention to how your body responds. Notice any changes in your energy, your digestion, your overall sense of well-being. This kind of transformation doesn't happen in a day, but with each small, deliberate choice, you are building a stronger, more resilient foundation for your health. You are investing in your longevity, your happiness, and your ability to live an active, independent life. Now, let's move on to something that's not just a food, but a social ritual, a symbol of relaxation and celebration. Its regular consumption, however, can quietly undermine your hormonal balance and prostate health in ways you might never expect. We've talked about sugar and red meat, two staples of our diet. But now, let's touch on a habit that is not only common, but celebrated. It's a social lubricant, a way to unwind after a long day, a symbol of friendship. I'm referring to alcohol, and specifically, beer. Before we go on, let me be clear. The goal here is not to demonize or prohibit. It's to observe, understand, and choose with awareness. A glass of wine or a beer has its place in social life, but when consumption becomes frequent or excessive, it can become a silent saboteur of your well-being. The prostate is particularly sensitive to the hormonal seesaw that alcohol can create. Regular drinking interferes with the production and metabolism of your sex hormones, especially testosterone. When you drink frequently, your liver has to work overtime to process the alcohol. This extra burden compromises its other critical jobs, including hormone regulation. Furthermore, alcohol promotes the storage of that dangerous visceral fat we talked about, which, as you now know, accelerates the conversion of testosterone to estrogen. There's a more insidious effect of alcohol, too. It can mask the early warning signs of prostate trouble. By relaxing the muscles and creating a temporary feeling of ease, it can make you overlook or downplay initial symptoms. That little bit of nighttime urgency might not seem like a big deal after a couple of beers, but if it's a sign of an underlying issue, ignoring it can allow a manageable problem to become a much more complex one. This is why paying attention to your body's signals is so crucial for healthy aging. If you've made it this far, that tells me you still care deeply about your health. This isn't about guilt. It's about making choices that align with the life you want to live. You don't have to give up everything you enjoy. Just start with one small change tomorrow. Maybe it's swapping that second beer for a glass of sparkling water, or trying the natural remedy we discussed. The power to change is in your hands. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love seeing how far this community reaches, and I might feature you in the next video. And make sure to subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss the next tip to keep your mind sharp, your body strong, and your spirit independent. Thank you for being here. Let's walk this path to better health together.